guys, Miss Ashley here. So I've been talking to a few parents about final consonant deletion. And when we are younger and all of these muscles and structures are developing, sometimes we simplify what we're saying to make it easier. So a lot of times when children are young, they will delete the last sound of the word to make it easier to say. So instead of cat, they might say cat. But if you hear someone saying cat, 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 and you don't see any cat, it's very difficult to figure out what it is that they're trying to say. So that final consonant can make a huge difference in their intelligibility or how understandable that they are. So it's one of the best, well, one of my favorite phonological processes to work on because it can make such a huge impact in their intelligibility. And it's really easy to pair with a multisensory approach. So I always like to use visuals, and I like to use a tactile component as well. So usually I might draw an arrow on the page. I might put 2 dots. So when they say, or 3 dots if it's a 3-sound word, so they can go k, at, and they tap them as they say the sounds. And initially it seems kind of weird having them like k, at. So you want them to cat, and then you want to shorten that gap the most that you can, but sometimes elongating that sound in the middle can help getting that last sound on, and having that visual reminder and those cues from you will help them get that last sound. And like always, practice is perfect. So we are going to, there we go. We're going to take a look here at this visual here. It's free on Teachers Pay Teachers. It's just working on those final consonant sounds. And so in red, you see the sound that we're targeting. And for this page, the sound is P. So you're going to put your lips together. And this is called a bilabial sound because you're using both of your lips. P, p, p. So you're building all the air up behind your lips and then letting it go. So P is one of the first sounds that we develop. It's one of the easiest sounds. So it's a good place to start for some of our students. So we can say, help, I see a map in my cup. And so it has a lot of those P's in there. So if you look at the side over here, let me annotate, you will see this visual. So what I have students do is I say, help, I see a map in my cup. Or you might be able to do so you do help, I see a map in my cup. And getting that extra visual, and you can have them trace it. Even if it's on a computer screen, they can use their finger to say map. Totally fine to do that. If you have a piece of paper at home, you can draw this on a piece of paper, 2 circles and an arrow. You can even, if you'd rather do the 3 dots, you can do that as well. App. But sometimes that elongation in the middle is the best way to get to it. So I would highly recommend using the arrow, but it's something you can draw on anything you have at home. Or sometimes I will put a piece of tape on the table, and then I will have a circle over here, or you can even use like a bottle of ketchup if that's what you have at home, or anything you have, and you can have them hold it and move it across the tape. So map, and have another circle at the end for them to touch, or another something else that they can put it on. So like maybe at the end you have a coaster. Use whatever you have at home. It doesn't have to be fancy. It's just that extra support that they need, that motor movement with that sound and with that visual. And each time it's important to give them really specific feedback. So if, say, they say meh instead of map, you can say, uh-oh, I think our p sound fell off. Let's try again. Listen first. Map. Now you try. And you can even have them practice that sound first if maybe that's not a sound they have yet. P, 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 p. Map. Getting them kind of in the groove of what they need to say. Probably the hardest sounds on this page are going to be pup, because you have two P's back to back. And so if they don't already have that sound, that would be a really difficult word for them. And it's okay to change it up, or even if you just have things at home, you could say, I spy something you use to drink. I see a cup. Very good. Do you see a cup? Or you could make it a game and have them say, what do you see? And use those final sounds. And things like pot, pan, cup, eat. Things that are consonant, vowel, consonant, or vowel, consonant are going to be easiest for them. Or something that is a shorter one-syllable word, like cup, as opposed to having them say ketchup, because it has two syllables in it, so that's going to make it harder. And having them say one word at a time is a good place to start. So maybe they're not ready to say this full sentence at the top. Maybe they're not ready to say, help, I see. Just use the words. Just have them say map with the visual. You don't have to use the sentence. It's just there if they need it. Or you might just have them say, see map. Anything that you can do to adjust it to your students' level, that's totally fine, because everybody develops at a different rate, and it's not wrong. It just means that they're doing it in their own way, and that's totally fine. So our takeaways here: multisensory approach. Get that motor movement, that visual. Use whatever you have at home. 2, give them that specific feedback. Oh, I didn't hear your P sound. I think it might have fallen off. Let's try that again. Giving them feedback so they know exactly what it is that was wrong with what they heard. 3, you can always videotape them or record what they're saying so they can listen and say, oh, did you hear that? I didn't hear the P. Let's try it again. And ultimately, it takes time. So be patient, keep trying, and stay positive with your student. Let them know what they are doing correct as well. Even if they don't get it right, it's okay to say, oh, I love how hard you're trying. You are doing such a wonderful job. Or I love how hard you're working. I love how you're sitting. I love how you're listening. I love how you're using your eyes. Anything like that is a great way to keep them motivated, to keep them in it. And make it a game. If you want to make a game, that's also a great way to keep them engaged. So sometimes I had something that makes noise, like a clapper, map, or something like that, map, and they would like shake the clapper. Something to make it fun is always a great way to work on it. Or maybe I would take an animal and I had, pin the tail on the lion. And so I would write the letters on the lion, and then I would have them pin the tail on the lion. And because it's their tail sound, their last sound. There are lots of fun ways that you can bring it in, just repetition, 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 and just really getting that in each day will be the best thing that you can do. Until next time, have a great day, everyone.